What's going on, chat? Welcome back to another episode of my meet prep series. This is episode 3. So if you've not watched the first 2 episodes, make sure to watch them first and then come back to this. In this YouTube video, we are starting a brand new training block. The purpose of this meet prep was to document the highs and the lows. And I'm gonna be completely transparent, but this meet prep is not going exactly the way that I wanted to right now. When I signed up for this powerlifting meet, I knew exactly what it would take for me to get where I want to be by the time I stepped on the platform. Probably the hardest thing that I'm getting adjusted to right now is my caloric deficit. It is definitely messing with my leverages. It's affecting my energy levels going into the lifts. And the barbell just feels heavier to me in my hand, on my back, off the floor. On a positive note, my body weight is trending downwards. And I'm almost exactly where I want to be, which is well within water cutting range. In November, I'm competing in the 83 kilo weight class, so that's 182.8 pounds. I have a history of successful water cuts ranging between like 8 and 11 pounds. So I'm hoping somewhere between a 4 to 5 pound water cut won't affect my strength too much. I'm not gonna lie, I do feel a bit of pressure with every single training session. Every time I step into the gym, I get a bit of anxiety knowing that I have a limited amount of sessions left before I step on the platform. 16 weeks doesn't really sound like too much, but as a powerlifter, you'll understand that that's only 16 primary days left. In a blink of an eye, it's gonna be basically taper week. So every single session is important when you're a powerlifter. I cannot waste any time dwelling in the past over unsuccessful training sessions or lackluster training sessions. In this YouTube video, I just wanted to talk to you guys about how powerlifting training is not always going to be like very upward momentum, upward trajectory. There's going to be a lot of frustration, a lot of inconsistency. The more you care about powerlifting, the more frustrating it gets when you do have a bad session. What's important about that is to learn what happened, what went wrong, and then apply that into your future training so it doesn't happen again. And I'll be completely honest, I'm a bit of an ego lifter, and I started my last training block way too aggressively. Even my girlfriend pointed it out to me, and that's something that I didn't take into account my deficit and how much of a toll that it would have on my body. It definitely did a lot to me, and I'm definitely feeling it every single day that I train, and I had to be realistic with myself. And that's the most important part. You have to be realistic with yourself when you're setting numbers or ranges early on in your training block. I like comparing fatigue management to cooking a steak. I've said this so many times, but if you start way too aggressively, if you like crank the heat early on to cooking your steak, you're gonna cook it for a certain amount of time and it's gonna be well done. And no one wants a well done steak. You want it to be medium rare to rare. With a powerlifting concept, like if you start your block way too aggressively, by the times you get to week 3 and 4, you're gonna run out of room. You're either gonna fail some lifts or wildly overshoot your lifts. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I want to either be on pace for a PR, hit a PR, or be well within my RPE. With my deficit also, I need to understand that I need to be healthy, I need to stay healthy. In the past, when I was younger, I would train through a deficit and be really aggressive, and that would lead to injury. The last thing I need right now is to get injured. I'm currently dealing with a bit of like a lower back flare up, like right in my QL, right above my glute med. It's a bit uncomfortable, but it's very manageable. Definitely the deficit is not helping with that, but I'm trying my best to mitigate the pain, work through the pain, and do everything I can to get rid of this nagging ache. The one thing that I've developed with powerlifting is like kind of maintaining my composure after dealing with a frustrating session. Whenever I was younger, I would actually crash out every time that I would fail a lift or have a really bad training session. Like I remember like it would mess up my mental and like I would like not know what to do. I would like complain to my coach all the time, just saying like why did this happen? So I have no idea why it's happened this way. I'm gonna quit, you know, stuff like that. But I've learned over time that it's gonna happen. You need to do everything you can to make sure that doesn't happen again. One of the best parts about powerlifting is that if you truly want to be good, if you want to be successful, you're gonna have to overcome a lot of obstacles. Either the plateaus, the injuries, stagnation, frustration. All of these negative things are eventually going to come in front of your path and you have to overcome that. Just with like any other thing or sport or hobby that you wanna do or be good at, it's not always going to be linear. And it's gonna be very monotonous at times too. Like powerlifting, you do the same stuff over and over and over again, but that's what builds discipline. And I thank powerlifting for that because it taught me how to be disciplined. There may be times where I don't have motivation, where I don't wanna work out, I don't wanna train, but I know that I have to. I know that I have to. And that's just something I wanted to share with you guys. Like, I don't know if you guys are always motivated or there are times where you are lacking motivation, keep chipping away at it. Your training partners, your coach, these are all resources or tools that you can use to become better and overcome these obstacles. That's enough sappy talk. Going on with my training session, it was a very successful SBD day. Had ascending sets of 5 on squat, very conservative from 170 all the way to 180. On bench press, we had a top triple with 155 kilos, really easy back offs that didn't even film, and 3 sets of 5 with pause deadlifts, which were fantastic. I really felt like my wedge was exactly where I needed it to be. As I feel like I'm losing more weight, my leverage are getting a bit better for pull. There's not that big of a gut like hindering my wedge anymore whenever I'm deadlifting, and it feels really good. So I'm kind of stacking my wins every single training session and just trying to find the correct positioning, the correct technique while I'm early on in my training block, and that'll set me up for a successful weeks down the road. I'm still a bit fatigued from my previous training session over the weekend, but there's a lot of work to be done these upcoming training blocks, these upcoming training weeks. I really hope that I can come into the next meet prep episode and tell you guys that, damn, I feel really good, guys. I feel really confident. But right now, I know that I'm in a spot where I just need to put my head down and work and keep chipping away. I wanted to document every single part of this meet prep series, so hopefully I can come back later down the road and be like, damn, like I was really down bad early on in my meet prep. This is only my 3rd week of my meet prep, considering I signed up 3 weeks ago. That's just where my head is at. That's where training is right now, how training is going right now. And I'm gonna turn it around. I'm telling you guys right now that I'm going to lock in every single variable that I can and do whatever I can to be strong, to feel like myself again. Most importantly, like I wanna be confident underneath the bar. I don't wanna be scared. I don't wanna be anxious every time I get underneath the bar. I wanna be confident just the way that I used to. But that's my little recap. Thank you guys so much for watching another YouTube video. I know this one is very short, very straight to the point, but I kind of wanted to show you guys. Social media is like always a highlight reel for powerlifting. Like you always see people post their PRs or how their training is going really well. It's not always gonna go well. That was the main purpose of this video. So I hope you guys can, if you're going through something right now, if you're going through some frustration or hardship with your training, this is your sign to put your head down and keep working. Thank you guys so much for watching another YouTube video. If you guys really enjoy my content and you wanna follow along with the meet prep series, make sure to subscribe. So let me know that you've watched all the way to the end of this video. Comment down below what your total was at your first powerlifting meet. If you've never competed before, comment down below what your training total is before you sign up for your first powerlifting. That'll let me know that you guys watched all the way to the end of this episode. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next YouTube video. Peace.